Hello and welcome to another edition of Momentum. I'm your host, John Bricado. Our first guests today are Lance and Reba Greer, who have recently endowed the Lance and Reba Greer Endowed Advancement Fund for Technical Writing in Mechanical Engineering, and they're here to speak with us today. Thank you for being with us today. I'd like to begin, if you would, by talking to us about your motivation for endowing this work in mechanical engineering in the Bagley College.
Well, we basically looked at it as a way to give back for some of the things, because going to engineering school here at State, actually, I had a really nice career, and I think I owe it quite a bit to the education I got here. So, got to work for at least a couple of really good companies, and so I owe the school a lot, I think, and we thought by doing this kind of thing would be good.
Okay.
So.
And Mrs. Greer, why in particular technical writing? What drew you to that as something to fund?
Well, I've been an educator, worked in public education my career, and writing has been a central part of that, and writing across all content areas. And Lance had particularly been interested in writing that related to mechanical engineering and has experience with doing that kind of writing.
And a program such as we're talking about here, I think, would have been very beneficial to me in my career, you know. So I got to, in my work, review a lot of documents that some of the people were writing, and I had to critique them. And I tell you, there are a lot of engineers out there, I think, that could benefit probably from a program like this. So
right.
We are hoping this will be a big, be beneficial, you know, for students here at State. So.
I wonder if you could talk a little bit about your hopes and expectations in terms of what the program will accomplish. What do you envision it doing?
Well, I certainly hope that that maybe we can see some improvement, or students will feel like they're benefiting from it and some of the writings they do. And I think when I was here, most of the writing I did was maybe lab reports, and it didn't really prepare me that much for some of the writing I had to do later on. I could tell some of the people I worked with was a wide spectrum of the abilities, but some guys could really did a beautiful job with their reports and all. And then every now and then you see people who could benefit from more instruction, you know, in school, I think. So.
Mrs. Greer, how about you, as far as hopes and expectations?
Well, I'm hoping that we will not just have the scholars that you're going to talk with later, who are working with those beginning students in mechanical engineering as kind of an introduction to what it's all about. I'm hoping that this will be a progressive kind of thing, moving on up to sophomores and juniors and seniors, so that the amount of writing and the quality improves. And then I would hope that the mechanical engineering department will be kind of a pace setter for the rest of the School of Engineering, and others will get on board and follow a similar example.
So I guess another question I would ask is with your background in as a secondary educator, is that one of the things that helped? Was there anything you saw, I guess, in your career that sort of made you think, well, this is, maybe this is something that is necessary? I mean, we heard from Mr. Greer about his experiences in industry. Is there something that you saw in your career as an educator that kind of drew you to this program?
Well, in my work, I've worked with students at all levels, and have developed programs for other school divisions that require research, development of hypotheses and modifying those, and sort of fact-based kind of work. And an area that I think is sorely lacking in most public schools is paying attention to technical writing and preparing students so that when they come to a school and they think they're interested in engineering, they have that kind of background. Sometimes the writing that's required doesn't get into the technical piece the way I think it should, even in public school.
Mr. and Mrs. Greer, it's been a pleasure talking with you today, and on behalf of the college, we can't thank you enough for your generosity and for what you're helping to do for these students. So thank you very much for being here.
It was a pleasure to be here.
When you're the best, everyone wants to see what you'll do next. At Mississippi State University, our team of world-class rocket engineers is venturing beyond boundaries, building rockets like none before. We're launching a new era of space exploration. We've developed cutting-edge technology that's helping us build a rocket that can travel at 4 times the speed of sound. Fast? Yes. But more importantly, revolutionary. For you and for a space program that produces many of the conveniences we enjoy today. We're shaping your life in ways you never dreamed. What's next? Watch us and see. What drives you? What pushes you forward? Is it an appetite to be the best or a calling to make a difference? For those of us here at Mississippi State University, it's both. We're designing a future where cutting-edge hybrid technology isn't imported from overseas, but exported from our own backyard. We're working toward a day when solutions to energy independence move at 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds and are as simple as charging a phone. A day when fuel economy and environmentally friendly are viewed as less of a compromise and look more like this. For us, turning heads in the auto industry is great, but living up to the hype is even better. That's because it's about more than simply envisioning the future. It's about getting there. And here at Mississippi State, we know just the ride to take.
Hear the echo down the well where my heart once hung. Hear my name ringing, ringing when I'm done. Hear my name ringing, hear it ringing. Hear my name ringing.
Welcome back. Our second guests are the 2 inaugural Greer Scholars who are part of the program that we just spoke about in the previous segment, the Greer Endowed Program in Technical Writing and Mechanical Engineering. It's Allie Brown and Luke Ball, 2 mechanical engineering students who are going to talk about their experiences in the program. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
So, Allie, I'll start with you. What interested you in this program when you first heard about it?
So the main reason I wanted to do it is because I feel like I've had kind of a diverse background. You know, I started in biomedical engineering and then switched to mechanical my junior year. And I had some research experience and also did a co-op for Eden Aerospace. So I felt like I had, a little bit of experience. I kind of struggled through my first years of college and technical writing. So I thought, I might have some advice to offer the freshman students.
Okay. Luke, same question for you. What drew you to this program?
Sure. So I came into engineering with the impression, I feel like a lot of students do, that it's just a lot of math and science and not much writing. And I went on co-op a couple semesters ago, and that impression was blown away immediately. There was way more writing than I expected. And that was probably about 50% of the work I did on my co-op. And so learning from that, I realized that technical writing was a really big deal in engineering and almost every industry. And so when this opportunity came up to influence the younger generations of mechanical engineers into technical writing, jumped at it.
Great. So you've got, semester's over, you have a semester of it under your belt. What's the experience been like? Can you talk about that a little bit, Allie? You first.
Yeah, so it's been very interesting to grade the papers. You get a lot of reminiscence, I guess, about it. It's like, I remember their writing makes me remember my freshman year, and so it was very relatable to read their papers and to see them grow throughout the semester. It was a very unique experience, and I'm looking forward to the second semester for sure. So.
Luke, same thing for you?
Right. So it was a great experience to get to see them progress through all of their writing assignments. So we really got to influence their first writing assignment, reinforcing that we really want a lot of good technical details and a lot of specific examples. And then watching them adapt to those suggestions we were making and improve their writing was great.
So thinking about the semester as a whole, could you talk about maybe a trend in terms of things that students do well and some things that students maybe don't do as well? And again, we'll go with you, Allie, first. What kind of trends did you see out of their writing?
Proofreading is one of the biggest, obviously, in a lot of writing. I always suggest that they go back and read their paper multiple times just to catch little mistakes that you don't think they're irritating when you write it, but then when your grader has to read it, it's like, wow, So that was the biggest thing. Actually staying on topic was one of my issues I had. They didn't really, sometimes they just talked and never kind of answered the question. So that was another thing I like to reinforce, and using it a lot, in technical writing. So referring specifically, to what they're saying was one of the big things I reinforced.
Right. Luke, how about you?
Right, I had almost an identical experience. Encouraging to use specific examples and very in-depth details was something that was very lacking in the beginning, and fortunately we were able to influence them to do a little bit better. And then staying on topic as well, that was a surprising issue, but yes, it did improve as well throughout the semester.
So in the remaining time we have, I'd kind of find out, if you will, where you guys are from and sort of what your plans are career-wise. And again, start with you, Allie.
So I'm from Bay Springs, Mississippi. I have a job offer currently in Tupelo for a technology group, and so I will be working there part-time in the spring, and then I'll start full-time in May.
Okay.
So.
Luke?
I am from Pontotoc, Mississippi, just about an hour north of here. I'm currently planning on going to grad school. I've got 2 semesters left of college, so I'll be starting applications this upcoming semester.
Okay. Any parting advice for any future mechanical engineering students who might be watching this? What advice would you give them?
Study hard. Get ready.
Luke, how about you?
We talk a lot about writing, but the math and science is the really enjoyable part of engineering to me. And technical writing is something you can practice at and get better at. I think it's very important, and I'm glad I'm able to make an impact.
That's great. Well, it's been a pleasure talking with you, and thank you for being here. Thank you for the work that you've done in the college, and best of luck next semester and beyond.
Thank you.
Thank you much.
you.
Well, that's all we have time for today. Remember, you can follow us on social media via Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram @MSU Engineering. Thanks for watching.